I'm feeling LowKick MMA. I heard Drew Dober, who makes his return next weekend at UFC 288. Drew, how are you?
Fantastic. We're getting a day closer to the fight, so we're getting even more excited.
9 days out. How you feeling?
Good. I mean, like weight cut sucks. We're water loading. We're putting in like the final touches of the camp. Man, this is being like in my backyard in Denver doing the training, the water loading. It's unfortunate, but as soon as I get in Newark and I get to be in front of like the media and all that stuff, man, that's what I'm excited for.
I know you said that a move back to welterweight's inevitable. So, like, I mean, obviously you cut a lot of weight for lightweight, man, and I know I'm sure the weight cuts are just getting more tedious. How much longer do you think you'll be at lightweight?
Surprising enough. Surprising enough. Man, I think we got this weight cut thing figured out.
Wow.
Yeah, like before my fight with Bobby Green, I had probably one of the smoothest weight cuts in my life, right? So like I've never had back-to-back smooth weight cuts, but we're hitting the same numbers this time around. So, without jinxing myself, knock on wood, we might have back-to-back smooth cuts for 155. And man, so like it gives me the options. Like we can compete at 55 indefinitely, or we can move up to 170 for potential bangers up there. But I'll probably have to put a little size if I want to make a career move to one welterweight. But yeah, I train with Usman, and the dude he outweighs me for sure.
What's what do you think's changed with the getting your weight cut right? Is it just, I mean, just kind of doing it for so long and you're finally making the right changes?
Yeah, man, it's a long process. It's like I've worked with a nutritionist for 10 plus years, and different nutritionists, but they all kind of tell me that like these things that work and some things that don't work. And as of right now, I'm just listening to my body. I'm well aware of what I need to eat, how I need to eat, but I'm starting to listen. I feel like with coaching and training and all that stuff, you always do what you're told, right? Where now I'm doing how I feel, right? So if I'm hungry, I'll eat. If I'm not hungry, I won't. Like I just had some lamb chops. Like it was delicious. I feel good, right? And we're sitting low at weight. Man, it's just being intuitive with your body.
Gotcha, man. Fighting in front of a sold out crowd full of fans, you got to be happy about that, right?
Oh man, I'm bringing back that energy, that Drew Dober energy back into the cage, and I got an equal dance partner with Matt Frevola, and so man, the Apex is extremely unfortunate. So yeah, I love the idea of being in crowd again.
I got to ask. I think you're the most photogenic fighter on the roster. Would you put yourself top three, top four most photogenic?
I'm not quite sure, man. I feel like I'm competing with this Paulo Costa guy. Man. He's good looking too. But man, you have no idea. My mother, like literally, like just bred me to be in front of a camera. Like since I was like 3 years old, like do this, do that, do this. This like, dude, like, she wanted me in front of a camera since I was like an infant. So I became a professional fighter. She was stoked. So all my being photogenic, interviews, all this stuff, like thanks to my mom.
I mean, it's just like you know exactly what to look at. Like you know what to do with your hands, like your smile. Like it's a work of art. I got to tell you.
It's coached, it's practice, and man, to explain how crazy my mother was, she applied me to like every reality show she could, like The Bachelor, Real World, like Love Island, like just anything she could get her hands on to put me in front of a camera. So yeah, I decided to get punched in the mouth.
Yeah, completely opposites.
Here I am in front of a camera, so she's happy.
That's true. That is true. That is true, man. You ready to be Daddy Drew?
Man, is anybody ready? Like, like, man, things are gonna change, and man, the beautiful thing about fighting is it taught me that you never predict, you only react. So I know some significant things are gonna be happening, happening indefinitely too, and I'm just ready for it. I'm ready for the adjustments, the changes, the suffering, the excitement. I'm ready for all the feelings, and and we just get the job done.
And are you obviously you're happy to get a fight before your child gets born so that you can kind of go full daddy mode?
I mean, yeah, absolutely. I was trying to schedule my paternity leave right? Like that's why I was blowing so much smoke on Twitter trying to get a fight in April. Because it's like I'm just trying to get a fight before the baby because I can only imagine what it'd be like to train through like the first couple weeks, like lack of sleep, all this other stuff. So man, so thank you, Matt Frevola, for allowing me to do this.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. All right. Well, let's talk about it, man. Matt Frevola. It's a fantastic fight on paper. Very, very fun. It's the featured prelim. Were you surprised you guys didn't get the main card spot?
No, it's pretty typical that like the most exciting fights on the card are either going to be the featured bout or the main event of the prelims. And so they kept bouncing us between the two. I'm well aware. I mean, as soon as I signed the fight or offered the fight, I knew this one's going to be exciting. The fans agree, UFC agrees. And so a prelims main event, I mean, that's where we're supposed to be.
I mean, the UFC, the bout order, they do it for a reason. They know the fight's going to be a banger, and they say that the most watched fight is usually the feature prelim. So, I mean, are you happy that you're going to get the most eyes on you?
Yeah. No, I'm happy for numerous reasons. One, I get my job done early, right? Like now I can enjoy the rest of the fights. And the fans, the friends, the family that don't want to pay for the pay-per-view, they just want to see me fight. Now they can do it for free. Man, I'm all for it. Like, yeah.
What do you think of the matchup?
Uh, fun. I think like I always talk about, taking risks and chasing greatness, and Matt Frevola, embodies that. Like he gets in there and he lives and dies by the sword. Like he's chaotic, but he's talented. He's an overall complete martial artist. Like you don't know what he's going to bring in, boxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, he can do it all. So this one's just going to be fantastic for the fact that he's going to engage and I'm going to engage, and we're going to see who's more polished.
I mean, you kind of said a word there that kind of describes the fight, like chaotic. Like I feel like it's just going to be chaotic for as long as it lasts. Like, do you feel it? You feel it? Most of the fight's going to be on the feet until one of you guys get hurt and it's going to go down, or do you think it's just going to be it's just a boxing match?
Yeah. No, I think Fravola's got a pair, and so he's gonna stand and trade with me. And man, then we got to see where it goes from there. It's even with my fight with Brad Riddell, it's people get touched with these hands and they turn into a wrestler. So, but I mean, I don't know how the fight's gonna happen. Parenting and fighting, man, we're not making any predictions. We're just reacting. So he could shoot for a takedown, he could not. Like I'm prepared for anything.
I love it, man. I love it. Well, at the end of the day, next Saturday night, UFC 288, man. How do you get your hand raised?
Like I said, somebody's going to sleep, somebody's getting hurt, and someone's falling over. And man, we're both the people to attempt to do it. And statistically, I'm better at it.
You do got that fucking iron chin, bro. So obviously, got this fight. You're gonna be a dad, gonna handle all that. When would you like to return? Obviously, I don't know how long you have your paternity leave basically scheduled for yourself, but are you trying to get one more in?
Yeah, so we've had some serious conversations about this. So I can't travel after this fight. This is the only way I can take time off away from the gym is I have to go somewhere. And with the baby coming, we won't be able to travel. So I'm going to be in the gym right away. And when we were kind of thinking about, possibly September, October, but we had the discussion too, like if the Jalen Turner, Dan Hooker, one of those guys gets injured, like I'll be ready to, pull in last second in like a July. So, it's all up in the air, but like I said, I mean, fight frequency is very important to me. I want to stay relevant. I want to stay busy. I'm trying to get as many memories as possible while I'm in the sport. So I do it as soon as possible.
Gotcha. Who were some of your main training partners this camp? Same crew?
Oh yeah, Team Elevation's got a cluster. We got all the people, tall, short, wide, purple, like all the people, So I haven't had consistent training partners. I've been training with every looks, every feels because, like I said, Matt Frevola is he's good everywhere, and we don't know what he's going to bring to the table. So I got to be prepared for pretty much anything. But if I am going to give a partner a shout out, we're going to do a shout out to Archie Colgan and Bellator. Like he's been pretty consistent as far as beating me up.
Dude, that guy is the sky's the limit for that man. What can you say about him?
All-American wrestler in college, and he's knocking people out in the cage. It's just one of those things where it's like he hasn't even showcased his best abilities yet because people seem can't get past his hands. And man, yeah, again, sky's the limit. And he's very intelligent, composed, takes his time. He's doing the right things. I'm a little jealous at this point, right? I made so many mistakes in my 20s, and he seems to listen to guidance and be intelligent. He's got his fight IQ as well. Like he's going to do some great and big things, and I'm glad I'm a part of it.
I wanted to ask Curtis Blaze did not have the performance he wanted. What do you think of that fight?
My personal opinion, I think we all know, watching it as a friend, it's always super disheartening. But I think it's just the lack of wrestling that I think it was disappointing. I think he's thinking about it now too. The dude's an amazing wrestler, and I feel like he just didn't wrestle enough. Especially fighting a guy that's got heavy hands like he does. Curtis has good striking, but I feel like he needs to blend it with his amazing wrestling as well.
I feel like you have really good wrestling. You fall in love with your hands. You got that. You got that thing. Do you think Curtis fell in love with his hands because he was knocking out Chris Dawkins and all of that, and he wanted to show that off, or do you think just the moment kind of got to him and a fight was a fight?
Yeah, you don't know. I mean, so surprising enough, I don't train much with the heavyweights. But just from just my perspective, it could be in the moment. I don't think it was a game plan to go in there and strike with him, but he does well throwing hands. I mean, he was even catching Sergey, often in the first, but he just wasn't able to put a stamp on, the finish. And yeah, I think in the moment he just kind of fell in love with making contact with the chin, and it's the same mistake my opponents do. They really fall in love with punch me in the mouth, and it just works in my favor.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Last thing before I let you go, man, I just wanted your thoughts on two of the fights on your card. Who you got in the main event, man? Aljamain Sterling versus Henry Cejudo.
God, I get asked this question. I always feel like I have to have an answer, but man, it's so up in the air because they kind of cancel each other out. Cejudo's wrestling, I mean, and then Aljamain's grappling or jujitsu, his backpack. It's like it might be a stand-up war. I think the thing that's going to be a significant, is the size. Henry's moving up, and I don't know if retirement has put on some athletic size. So I'm a little unsure about that. But as of now, I have Aljamain.
And then Gilbert Burns versus Bilal Muhammad. Both guys studs for stepping up, taking the fight. Who do you got?
Again, it's just one of those, I always have Bilal, he's talented. He's very underrated. But he's taken this fight in, 2 weeks notice where he was kind of relaxing, where Burns just had a fight not too long ago. And he's fresh and he's still in it. So I think that's going to make it a little bit more close. But as far as technically, I think Bilal's going to get it done.
Interesting. I got one more. I'd like to you. What video games you playing?
Wasteland 3. It's the not the turn-based combat, or it's like post-apocalyptic. Yeah, I'm playing Wasteland 3, and then I'm reading the Name of the Wind, or the Kingslayer series. Oh. So I'm reading a fantasy book along with playing some ridiculous games. I don't know.
During fight week, obviously you're cutting weight. Do you bring your books or video games with you, or is it just like during fight week you're fucking focused?
Yeah, I bring the books. I bring the books with me. Video games, it's hard to set up. I'm not bringing my gaming computer, to wherever I'm going. And man, like I said, I don't play those casual games, so you need a good power, So I just bring the books. I bounce between either fantasy or motivational, depending on what I need in that moment.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Drew, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it, man. I really love chatting with you. If you want to plug your social media, plug any sponsors you might have, and if you want to thank anybody, the floor is yours.
At Drew Dober, Twitter and Instagram. Like I said, if you love or hate me, send me messages. I love reading about it. I love hearing about it. Man, the reason I'm performing martial arts on the biggest stage in the world is so that way I can talk to all of you guys. So I love it. And then Coffee Bros just sent me an espresso maker. I got a Starbucks in my basement right now. So huge shout out to them. I love you guys.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKick MMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.